Well, the Calgary Flames just played a game against the Carolina Hurricanes at the Lenovo Arena in Raleigh. And
You can call it that.
it was not a particularly good hockey game. What it lacked in quality, at least it made up for in length. Mike Gould and Kent Wilson with you on a post-game edition, a post 1-0 overtime loss edition of the Afterburner post-game show here on Flames Nation, a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION. And if you want to get involved in this show, or maybe a little bit more involved than the Flames were in tonight's game, you can take part via the Afterburner Super Chat, proceeds from which go to the Youth Centers of Calgary, a place where kids are welcomed and accepted as they are, a place where they can get a break from the chronic stress that is the reality for many of their lives, and where they can flourish through connection and fun. Not a lot of connections and not a lot of fun, I don't think, was had by either of the teams in today's game. A stat that really rings true. The first period of Friday's game between the Flames and the Florida Panthers featured a combined shot total of 34. It was 19-15 after one period in Florida 2 nights ago. Today, the shots for the entire game, Kent, were, I think, 17-15 in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes. It was an absolute slog to watch, and now we're here to break it down.
Yeah, lucky everybody who's watching and listening. But yeah, I think the Flames had 3 shots on net up until 10 minutes into the second period in this one.
They kept putting shots on the counter and then taking them down.
It was not a shot.
It was really weird. I went into this game, talking about how the Hurricanes are a team that sort of games the system with shots. They spam shots from all directions. And that could not have been further from the truth in this game, where the Flames.
I think through 2 periods, there were 4 breakaways between both teams, and none of them resulted in a shot on net. There was posts, there was wide, and it's just like, holy cow, how is this possible?
It was a really, really boring game in which, yes, the Flames had 15 shots on goal. Not a whole lot to talk about. They had some breakaways. Matt Coronado hit a post. We can start from the first period. Kent, your notes on the first period. Please describe in vivid detail.
Lots of zone time for Carolina, resulting in nothing.
That is our first period update. Kent, the second period of this game, again, no goals. The Flames, I think maybe Adam Klapka took a penalty. I was half watching at that point. Right. He was very upset as he headed off the ice.
It was a penalty.
It kind of looked like they were playing pond hockey out there. And hey, you know what? Let's just take a break from our standard breakdown of this game to tell you a little bit about something coming up in the late January. It's January 23rd to 25th, the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament back at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. We'd usually get to this 50 minutes into the show, but it was a 1-0 overtime game. So we're talking about it right now. It is the ultimate getaway in the heart of the Rockies, a 4-on-4 pond hockey tournament on the ODR. Teams of 4 to 8 players battling it out for the coveted Jasper Cup. I don't know if the Flames would win the Jasper Cup with 15 shots on net in 63 minutes of action, but hey, you know what? They'd at least have the chance to hang out with the Nation Network crew, pro hockey alumni, and fans from across the country for a weekend of live watch parties, prizes, and off-ice fun around Jasper. So head to nationgear.ca and register your team today. That is that's as charitable I can be about the Flames, describing them in conjunction with that tournament, because at least that tournament promises to be some fun. And watching tonight's game was a chore. It was a chore.
Well, I'll hand it to the Flames. They played it was a road game against a usually a high volume team, and they kept them in check. So if you want positives, it was a pretty good defensive effort.
There you go. It rouses up just so much appreciation from the folks out there that they were treated to a game with 31 total shots on goal. But hey, you know what? It's Carolina. You never really know what to expect when you go into that building. The Hurricanes have kind of had the Flames number over the last few years. They've had a lot of teams' numbers. By the same token, lots of discussion during the game, I think on a more macro sense, about this Hurricanes team. Nikolai Ehlers, in fitting fashion, ends up scoring the only goal of this game. Ehlers, a notorious Calgary the quencher during his time with the Winnipeg Jets, and it continues onto his new tenure with the Hurricanes as he gets the overtime winner. And by that same token, though, I think that's only Ehlers' 5th goal of the season. The Hurricanes entering today's game did not have a single forward over a point a game. Their only player over a point a game is Shane Gostisbehere, of all people, who has 18 and 16 games this season. It is for a team that is very much up there in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. I kind of posed the idea during the game. The Hurricanes kind of play the way the Flames would if they were a good team. Like they kind of have the low event system that sort of maximizes the team over individuals downright. It's just they kind of have a better mix of players to make it work.
Yeah, they're very much a fan of, spending a lot of time in the offensive zone, as you say, getting a lot of shots. But they've always kind of struggled to take that next step because they never seem to be able to develop a superstar, right? They've had stars over the years, very good players. They have a mix of very good players now, but they desperately need like a McKinnon or a McDavid or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at the Hurricanes draft record over the last 15 years. The Hurricanes often get a lot of flowers for being a sort of a progressive drafting team, and they've had their hits in later rounds. They haven't made a whole lot of high picks, but the ones that they have made have kind of been whiffs in certain respects. Andrei Svechnikov was 2nd overall, has suffered an array of injuries and is really not that effective right now. Hasn't been effective for a couple of seasons. And then you go back to, Seth Jarvis at 13, pretty good pick. Before that, you're at Martin Necas at 12, no longer there, traded to get Mikko Rantanen, who they flipped to get Logan Stankoven. And then before that, it's Jake Bean. Jake Bean at 13. Noah Hannafin at 5. Elias Lindholm at 5. A lot of Calgary guys, Ryan Murphy at 12. And then Jeff Skinner at 7. Like, it's been an interesting little run for the Carolina Hurricanes. And I'll be honest with you, Kent, they looked okay to me at times tonight. There were times where the Flames were kind of running all over them. It to me looked like a game where the Flames were really trying and the Hurricanes might have looked past their opponents a little bit.
It mostly looked like a game where the teams could have swapped jerseys at any point. You wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. It looked like the same team playing itself. It was,
Yeah.
The first period, I thought Carolina really leaned on Calgary and they just couldn't get the handle a bunch of times. But after that, it was just, played between the blue lines most of the time.
Wow, I think I completely missed the year that they draft Hayden Fleury at 7. Boy.
Yeah, that was a whiff.
It's crazy to me that, they've found guys like Sebastian Aho at 35.
Right.
It's sort of the similar type thing to the Dallas model, but kind of to a lesser extent in a certain way. I mean, they got Jacob Slavin in like the 5th round. It's a really strange build over in Carolina. Like even that Nikishin guy who everybody really, really likes, the young guy who they've just brought in, he was a 3rd round pick. Like it was 69th overall. Yeah. It's a very much a build by committee in Carolina. And by the same token, you can look at teams like Carolina and Dallas, who are pretty much the West and East equivalents in the NHL, and they have also had the same limitations to their success. They've basically been Eastern Conference final at best or Western Conference final at best, where they've finally been overcome by teams that have those higher end players. So it's interesting. You look at these teams and they're kind of maybe ghosts of Calgary future in a certain sense. That's how it felt watching to me tonight.
I'd say Dallas has done it better because in that very short period, they picked some legit superstars. There's Robertson, there's Harley before this season. There was Wyatt Johnson have been excellent, right? So they've done it a little better. But yeah, Carolina's been really good for, I don't know, a decade or something now, but they just haven't had that one Kucherov, Gaudreau, Major, or McKinnon at the top of something that would just elevate the roster to that one last step that they need to take.
It showed in tonight's game, I would say, for sure. The only goal, as we mentioned, scored in overtime. Nikolai Ehlers, his 5th from Taylor Hall and Sean Walker, coming at the 2:52 mark of overtime. Brandon Busey for the Hurricanes ends up making a 15-save shutout for his credit. And Devin Cooley's save percentage remains pretty good. He stopped 16 of 17 for a 941. Interesting to see the Flames going back to Devin Cooley. He's certainly been the hotter goaltender of late, and they give him another start. I wonder what that means for Nashville in a couple days. I would imagine they probably go back to Wolf, but interesting to see them leaning on a goaltender who everybody kind of expected to be shipped out at the start of the season when the preseason sort of showed that he was maybe starting to struggle again. He's really come back and done quite well for the Flames in this young year.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. He's definitely one of the hottest goaltenders in the league, so you can't really blame the team for going back to him. That said, long term, you want to get Dustin Wolf back on the rails. He is sort of the long-term player, goaltender for this team. So I don't think you want to do this too long, but it makes sense in the short term.
I believe this is the Flames' first time being shut out this season. I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't remember another game like this.
Amazing. Yeah.
Like this was something else. Like I think there have arguably been worse games in terms of quality than this one. I just think this was maybe the hardest to get through of the season so far.
Yeah, like I said in our chat during the game, it felt like walking through mud by the third period. It was just chip it in, chip it out, puck scramble, chip it in, chip it out. Oh, man. All right.
Pike already correcting me as he is wont to do, and good for him. It's their third time being shut out this season. Shows you Ken. I think that was almost a spit take. Yeah. They got shut out in back-to-back games apparently earlier this season. Kent, shows you what I can remember about this.
We're just trying to forget it all. Yeah,
it's all October. In one ear. Holy smokes. Yeah. So, boy, that's a little embarrassing, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care. It's the 2025-26 Calgary Flames. The individual games hardly matter at this point. The Flames still, I believe, in 31st in the National Hockey League, within, I think, a point of the Vancouver Canucks at the bottom of the Western Conference standings, and 2 points up on the Nashville Predators. And you know what? I think we've already talked basically just about enough about tonight's game. I think we're going to move on into the road ahead. I think we are.
Are we doing any highlights? Are we going to see the one goal? Should we show everyone?
I don't know. Yasmin, do you have it queued up? I don't even know. I don't.
There's one goal. We might as well show it.
Here's the goal. Here it is.
There it is.
Bask in it. Oh,
Chip.
They were considering reviewing that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't really know why they would have, but it's it's a goal.
Well, they got to the point where they did not believe that a goal could be scored in this game, so you might as well review it to make sure.
Might as well just check it out, right? You know, just poor Matty Coronado, another minus. Didn't deserve it. He had a good night.
He did have a good night. Well, as good a night as you can have.
As a good night as you can have. Yeah, kind of hard to really judge anybody on a night like this. And it came.
He was pretty dangerous. 2 breakaways, 1 glove saved by the goalie. So
and a post. Yeah, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have to say.
That's about it.
Yeah, about tonight's game. Let's move on to the road ahead. Brought to you by the good folks up at Platinum Mitsubishi, 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast. The 2026 Outlander mild hybrids are just arriving up at Platinum, and they are super cool. I had a chance to drive one earlier this week. It's just like gliding on a cloud. It's so quiet. One of Canada's top 7-seat SUVs. Also comes in the PHEV variant, Canada's best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. So got into the best back cars in the country with a standard 10-year, 160,000-kilometer powertrain warranty at Platinum Mitsubishi, 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast. And the road ahead, of course, brought to you by Platinum, starts with an end of a road trip for this Calgary Flames team as they head into Nashville into Bridgestone Arena for a game against the last place Predators on Tuesday at 6 p.m. The Flames are 9-14-3 now, Kent. The Predators are 8-13-4. Hard to really distinguish between those two records, and quite frankly, between these lineups, sort of with one star, quasi-star winger with a fair few goals. If you're comparing between Philip Forsberg and Matt Coronado, I'd probably take Forsberg, but still, they're the leading goal scorers on their respective teams. Yeah, not dissimilar, I guess, in terms of potential trajectories. But yeah, and then a lot of veterans, Nazem Kadri and Ryan O'Reilly and Jonathan Huberdeau and Jonathan Marchessault. So kind of hard to distinguish between the two of them. Dustin Wolf is a very good young short goaltender. UC Saros is a pretty good older short goaltender. But yeah, that'll be the next game on the docket for these two teams. It'll be one to watch. It'll probably be more entertaining than this one. It'll probably be more entertaining than tonight's
game.
That's
a pretty low bar, though. I mean,
yeah.
We'll see.
It'll be something. It'll be something. I'm looking forward to it. One thing I'm really looking forward to is dark mode. Starting later this coming week, the Flames wearing the Blasty jerseys for the first time all season long. Oh, Kent's not a fan.
I hate those jerseys. They're the worst.
You don't like them? You've never liked them?
Never.
Really? I think they're fun.
Everyone hated them when they came out, and now they've sort of become ironic and nostalgic, but I never got there.
I don't think they're ironic. Here's my objective take on the Blasty jerseys.
Okay.
The Blasty jerseys so far are the only Flames jerseys that have been able to make a yellow crest work. And that's kind of interesting. It's predominantly yellow. You can't do a yellow C. It looks like mustard. There's nothing to break it out. That's why to me it looks a little bit different. That's my thought on it. But I've thought about it too much.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Talking about yellow. Predators coming up in a couple of days. Those are awful things that Nashville.
You don't like the Predators?
No, it's way too yellow. I liked them better when they wore like the gray back in the 2000s. That was kind of neat. So Blasty's coming back this coming week. Minnesota, Utah, and Buffalo in succession. 3 of the 6 dates in which Calgary will be wearing Blasty this year. They have a trend of sort of doing them in spurts for consecutive games. So that'll be what's coming up later this week. They'll be wearing the Blasties again in March for 3 consecutive games then, and no other times this season. So Kent knows when to block off his vacation.
Excellent. Yeah, perfect.
Hey, Kent, I mean, I'm sure you'll like better that the Flames are bringing back the 2004 Black Sea jerseys next year.
Yeah, that's better.
Way better. Yeah. No, yeah. I hope they keep those around as well. But yes, confirm it. It's happening.
There we go.
It'll be fun. I think they're going to have 4 jerseys next year. First time they've done that in a while. So lots of fun. So those are the games coming up on the road ahead. Some, in theory, more winnable games than the ones they've just played. But by the same token,
is that a good thing?
I don't know. It might not be.
It's up to you.
It might not be. By the way, our buddy Pike chiming in the chat saying, Kent, that you also think gum has gotten too fancy these days. So
Simpsons reference.
Just an old.
I am
guy.
getting old. Yep.
Nuts and gum together at last. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. You're an old crotchety fella. That's the road ahead. Let's just go a little bit further. Because after those 3 games against Minnesota, Utah, and Buffalo, they take on Detroit. So really 5 games in a row here that you'd think they'd have a decent chance of winning. All 4 of those last 4 are at home, back at the Saddledome, which I don't know if that's a good thing. Probably just a statistical error or anomaly at this point. They haven't been much better or worse at home or on the road. So
not really.
We shall see how these next 5 games play out as we head into the middle of December. One thing worth mentioning on the road ahead is that Zane Parekh will most likely not play before the start of Hockey Canada orientation camp. This is something that came out from Eric France in the last day or two. That begins on December the 12th. So keep an eye out for that as things continue forward here. We probably have seen the last of Parekh for the Flames before the World Juniors. Whether he returns to them afterwards remains to be seen. And of course, we still don't even know if Hockey Canada is going to bring him on the roster, of course.
I was going to say there's no guarantee he gets
no
picked
guarantee
for the team either. So
no, I think
he should be, but I mean, watching that roster selection last year, nothing is guaranteed, right?
No kidding. Yeah, you don't want to be able to lose to Latvia again. So we'll see what they end up doing. I would expect a pretty good top pairing to me would be that Harrison Brunick kid from Pittsburgh, who's I guess he's a righty as well, though. That's the thing, is a lot of Canada's best defensemen are righties right now. So I'm very curious to see who they end up pairing with Parekh. I was thinking, though, in terms of styles of play, that'll be a really interesting sort of duo to watch. But 2 righties, we'll have to wait and see. So that's coming up as well on the road ahead as we head into the month of December. Let's talk a little bit about a fella who watches this show. I hope he didn't necessarily sit through the whole game tonight, because we value Derek Newman very, very much. And Derek Newman is the kind of guy who just has that eye. He's got that extra perception He can see things. He has like eyes in the back of his head, like the best playmakers, but he's not looking for players to pass to. He's not looking for scoring opportunities. He's looking for homes. He's looking for your home. He's looking for homes on the market. And
sounds like a superhero.
He is a superhero. He's a CIR superhero at CIR Realty. So if you're buying or selling, you let Derek do the work for you. Email him at dnewman@cirrealty.ca or call 403-619-6661. And Kent, let's do a little bit of a Derek Newman segment here, because I want to sort of go through a couple players with you on this Flames team and just talk about, is it a buy? Do you think it's become more of a buyer's market or a seller's market for these players? The Flames are selling, right? We expect them to be sellers as we head up to the trade deadline. And if you're Derek Newman, if you are Derek Newman shopping different homes, you're expecting bidding wars, or you're maybe expecting some to sit in the market a little bit. Imagine if Derek Newman was shopping Rasmus Andersson. Boy, that value would think it's got to be going up, right?
Right now it is. I mean, it might be the best month of hockey in his career, right? So
you'd think, like, it's
got to be close.
It's been really something. Now, here's the thing: is there anybody on the team right now? I mean, it kind of feels like all their guys who they're selling, they're kind of following that same pathway. It feels like that they actually commit to doing that. They might have something good in their hands. It might be an opportunity for them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're taking calls on Coleman now. I don't know if they're interested in selling him, but
that's the rumor.
think he's having a tremendous season myself, given his age and role. And Kadri, of course, I think he's still leading the team in scoring. So, I mean, all of these guys should be in demand. We don't know what the Flames would be asking for them or if they're comfortable trading them yet. But my hope is they're definitely taking calls and listening to offers.
Oh, you'd hope. I mean, you never know. You never know. Offers are one thing, but getting the seller to accept them, as Derek knows all too well, is never a given. But but Derek, I mean, if he was involved, I'm sure the deals would be excellent for both sides. With his people first approach, unmatched service, trusted experience, and community and connection, head over to the Derek Newman Group at CIR Realty. Call 403-619-6661 or visit DerekNewmanGroup.com. Kent, we're about 23 minutes into this show. Off the top, we told Yasmin that we thought it might be a hard 30 on tonight's episode. We're getting there. Folks, get your super chats in, get your comments in, because there's not a whole lot to discuss tonight that hasn't already been discussed.
I can start with something, and as we wait for comments, how about
do it, Kent. Let's get in there.
Frost and Farabee. So they're having better seasons, both of them. Right. They're sort of starting to establish themselves, at least as quality NHLers. What do you do with those guys if you're the Flames? Do you keep them? Do you get rid of the older veterans and let them sort of take up some of the slack? Or do you think about auctioning them off too?
Yeah, I think you have to sort of take it step by step, right? I mean, I look at, I've mentioned the Morgan Frost situation on this show with like guys like Pike a few times, because it is really interesting that they gave him a 2-year contract that walks him directly to unrestricted free agency. That to me basically just kicks the can down the road. Suggests to me that, they recognize there's a decision to make. They don't necessarily see him as a guy who you sign all the way long term. It's fascinating, and I think both guys have done reasonably well in upping their value. I think there are steps to take for all these guys, and frankly, I think there's only a couple guys on the team right now who I think have more than one more contract in them with the Flames. Like, that's the way that I kind of look at it. I look at it and I say, how many guys on this team are you not looking to trade at the end of their current contracts, or at least close to the end of their current contracts?
That's a good question.
That's the way that I assess it. And basically you're just, to me, you're just sort of holding these guys until the right value proposition presents itself. Like, like you have sort of commodities that are currently at peak value, at bottom value, and values in between. And so, if I'm looking at the peak values, I'm looking to sell them right away. If I'm at the bottom values, I'm maybe looking to hold on until I'm firmly convinced I can't recoup anything at any point. And then the middle ones, I mean, you're just trying to look to boost them as much as you can. So I think with Frost and Farabee, I think those are guys who still have potential to be boosted more in terms of, unlocked a little bit further. And I also think, they have the flexibility with other guys who need to go first. So, but with Frost, I mean, I wonder about trading that guy at the draft though. Like if you trade guys mid-season, well, in the summer, teams are always looking for centers, but I think that a team out there in the summer that's looking for a center and might have the option to do a contract extension as part of a trade. Boy, that to me would be really interesting with Morgan Frost. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't think they envisioned it themselves as doing a pump and dump type flip scenario when they traded for these guys. But I think it's something they could follow for sure.
Which is good because at some point, probably by the end of last season, neither of those assets looked like they had much value. So
absolutely. Yeah, they both look really good. I mean, it fluctuates on a game by game to me a little bit. Obviously the Farabee line was struggled tonight. The Frost line was okay, but it is what it is. I think both these guys are moving in the right direction. Frankly, I think the team as a whole is moving in the right direction in certain ways. I think players are generally finding their feet a little bit more. They don't have anybody on the team, to me, who looks unplayable the way that they did at the start of the season.
They have played much better in this month.
Much better.
Hand it to them. Like, this is a much better level of hockey than we saw in October.
Way better. No question about it. Kent, we have a super chat. We have a super chat from Donnie Brook, 3119, who's talking about Ethan Wyttenbach, 355.
Ooh, this will be good.
This will be a good one. 355 to the U.S. Centers of Calgary from Donnie Brook, 3119. Ethan Wyttenbach is having a crazy start to the season for the Quinnipiac Bobcats. I believe up to 22 points in 16 games. This is a guy who was not initially supposed to go to college this year.
That's right.
Was playing in the USHL. And was supposed to go back to the Sioux Falls Stampede for the 25-26 season. He ends up going to Quinnipiac a year early. And quite frankly, when he went to university earlier, I was like, well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And now he's looking incredible.
Smashing it. Yeah.
8 goals, 22 points in 16 games. 5th round pick who is just absolutely lighting it up. I think there are valid reasons to be very excited and also valid reasons to still be a little bit cautious. But I think you can't hope for more than what we've seen with Ethan Wyttenbach so far.
No, I think he's second amongst, U20 players in the NCAA right now?
I think that's correct, yeah.
I think it's Horkoff that's ahead of him, and that's it. Which is pretty impressive. But you have brought up the point that he's playing in a
pretty different conference.
Much, sort of lower, weaker conference. I've looked into it, and the NHL translation factor of that conference is pretty low. It's like kind of Quebec Major Junior, or
he's
the
playing
CHL in general, and usually college is much higher than that. Right.
He's playing in the ECAC. Yeah.
If you compare him to Gaudreau, who did a point per game. Also mid-round pick, smaller guy, did a point per game as a freshman. He was with Boston College, which is a much tougher
produced
program,
a ton of NHL players. And like that's part of what I look at is, obviously Quinnipiac won the national championship a couple of years ago. They are a very, very good school, a program that has come an extremely long way in the last 5-10 years. And the ECAC is not terrible. It's not as bad as Atlantic Hockey, which has, I think, 2 NHL prospects in it, but it's not playing against Denver. It's not playing against Minnesota, Boston College, Boston University with the regularity that some of these other teams do. So, you're playing against your conference is Brown, Clarkson, Colgate, Cornell, Dartmouth, Harvard, Princeton, RPI, St. Lawrence, Union, and Yale. And there's some really good schools there. It's just, it's not necessarily the cream of the crop for hockey. Now, that being said, the other part of it is Wyttenbach has played non-conference games this year, and they've been pretty good. He had a goal and assist against BU back on November the 15th. So he's had some good games. He played against Notre Dame. He had a goal and assist against them. He played against I mean, Clarkson, he had an assist, but the big games that he's had have been against like the College of the Holy Cross, where he had 2 goals and 2 assists, or the game last night against Stonehill College, which is a school that I've never heard of, that has been that has been a D1 school for 3 years, that had 2 and he had 2 assists. So that is not to take anything against Ethan Wyttenbach, who has like smashed my expectations.
Blowing the doors off. Yeah,
like absolutely incredible. And I don't even think he needs to transfer, because Quinnipiac is a good program that has good players, and I think has a good support group for him.
It's working for him.
It's working for him. I just want to see more. I just want to see him keep doing this, and I want to see him break out of the mold, because when you look at it, Quinnipiac has graduated 10 NHL players in their history. And the only one who has been a real difference maker is Devon Taves, and everybody else has been sort of the Bryce Van Brabants of the world. And so
nobody remembers him.
He played for the Flames. He did, allegedly.
Sort of.
He was the very first Quinnipiac alumnus to make the NHL 10 years ago.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember that being a thing on the TV broadcast the day that he made his debut. So that's the only part of it that gives me pause. And it's the same reason that I have a little bit of pause about Cullen Potter, because ASU has had 3 players go into the NHL. And one of them was a guy who played for the San Jose Sharks, who played 4 games, whose name I don't remember. So, but they've graduated Josh Doan and Joey Decord. I mean, they've had good players. They have a good arena and a good program. So I just want to see more. I want to see it continue. And I think he is a really, really exciting prospect as it is.
Yeah, for a guy like that, you have to see successive seasons like this. Like Gaudreau, even after his freshman season where he was point per game, at the end of that season, he was just an intriguing prospect at that point. And then he did it. He kept, turning the volume up by the time he was just absolutely dominant. So he doesn't necessarily have to be Gaudreau to be a good prospect to make the NHL, but you'd love to see it, right?
It's really exciting that the Flames have some of these guys in their system, and I talked about it on the Warmies. It's great to see the first round prospects like Cole Reshney and Cullen Potter really coming alive of late too. I forget what I said on the show. I think Cullen Potter's on a 7-game point streak, and Reshney has just found a complete great line with Ben Strinden, a Nashville prospect, on UND's top line. So it's been a good little run for their first round picks, and we're excited to see who they can get this year at the end of the year. Which
Absolutely.
You know what, these games just keep coming, and they don't stop coming. 26 already through the 82. We're getting there. Yeah. We're getting there slowly but surely.
There's more. There's a lot more.
There's a lot more. Pike Bomb. Speaking of prospects, Pike with a good scoop in our chat. Pike will have updates on the Wranglers' first-year skaters. I know he had a one-on-one with Brett Sutter at the Dome today. I think it was today. Might have been yesterday. He was telling me after the last Afterburner show. And so that'll be exciting to hear from Brett about Matvei Gridin and Andrew Basha and Aidar Suniev and the like with the Calgary Wranglers.
Mostly about Matvei Gridin.
Mostly about Matvei Gridin, I would say, for sure. We'll keep on going here. We only got a couple more things to get to on this Sunday afternoon. I guess getting into the evening. It's just past 6 local time. Let's talk a little bit about the Calgary Health Foundation. No donations out of today's game, unfortunately, from me, as I have committed until the end of the calendar year, $25 for each point Connor Zary and Yegor Sharangovich score. Just trying to get those 2 guys going. It doesn't matter who I could have picked. Nobody would have gotten anything on the door today. But the reason that I'm doing that is because until December 31st, your donation to the Calgary Health Foundation will be matched. You can head to givehealth.ca to learn more and to hear about Lanny McDonald's incredible recovery as aided by the Calgary Health Foundation after his cardiac arrest at the Calgary airport. It was the incredible team at the Foothills Medical Center that saved his life. And Kent, if you donated $25 for every goal Lanny McDonald scored in his career, that would be a donation of $50 for each goal that he scored because they're matching it. So there you go. That's a great reason to get on that. Go to givehealth.ca to learn more. And once again, until December 31st, your donation to the Calgary Health Foundation will be matched. Come on, Connor. Come on, Yegor. Get some points so I can give some money to the Calgary Health Foundation. We're going to set a minimum, I think. We better set a minimum threshold because otherwise it could be a really
$50.
Yeah, I think we'll make it like 100 or something. Come on, those guys. Get off the schneid. But it's just fantastic stuff from the Calgary Health Foundation. Couple more things. Let's tell you a little bit more about a place where you should go. And I'm talking directly to you, Greg. If there's any Gregs out there watching the show, I'm talking directly to you. Yeah. Greg, should go over to the Unicorn, Greg, to watch the Nashville Predators and the Calgary Flames play against each other this coming Tuesday, Greg. And I'm going to add Jeremy into that list as well. Get on over there. And if you two are friends, even better. Head on over to the Unicorn on 4th. Maybe one of you can go to the Unicorn on 4th, and the other one of you can go to the Unicorn on 8th Avenue, and you can compare notes after the fact about which one you preferred, because they're both pretty fantastic. 223 8th Avenue Southwest or 1919 4th Street Southwest. It's Calgary's Super Pub with 3 floors, 3 bars, and 1 destination. It's the sports cantina for you, Greg, and for you, Jeremy, and for you as well, Martin. All 3 of you, get over to the Unicorn. They got 3 floors, 1 for each of you. So, there.
No Rutgers in there?
Rutgers?
Rutger?
No? Like Rutger McGroarty? Hey, there's a guy. There's a name. Head on over to the Unicorn at 223 8th Ave Southwest or 1919 4th Street Southwest. Marvin commenting in the chat, that game on Tuesday sounds like a horrible game. Marvin, we're just trying to ramp up anticipation. We want the folks to tune in.
It can't be worse than this game, right?
This is the game on Tuesday is the prototypical, like stereotypical game that is said about like games that you don't care about. Oh, it's not the playoffs. It's just a Tuesday night in December against Nashville. That's like what they say in the offseason against guys who are inconsistent.
If the Flames lose, they can go back into 32nd. That's exciting, right?
That's right. It'll be like that Arizona-Buffalo game 10 years ago during the McDavid year, where Buffalo cheered that they lost, and then neither of them got McDavid. Yeah, it's so.
The pukes up north got them.
That's right. Hey, Matt C, though. Matt C is making a good point in the comment. Greg is pumped for the Nashville game. I've heard that as well. Greg will just be there, and he'll be at the Unicorn, just chugging those Molsons, and he'll be having an amazing time. Jeremy will be playing darts. Jeremy will be throwing the darts at the board over in the corner, and he'll be having a great time as well. Hey, speaking of tank games, we're going to go back full circle here with our buddies from Bet365 and take a look at one of the ones on the docket tomorrow, because it's a matchup between 2 teams, one of which has been kind of iffy all season long, and one of which has gone on a real downward spiral over the last couple of weeks. Yeah. The Winnipeg Jets and the Buffalo Sabres. Winnipeg, Kent, is just falling off the face of the earth.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, Winnipeg is actually. Oh, we got decimal points. I think that means Winnipeg is actually the underdog in this game. Isn't that something against the Buffalo Sabres? Buffalo, Buffalo beat Minnesota last night. I mean, they're right there. The Eastern Conference is pretty bad. I mean, if the thing, the Eastern Conference though is better than the West. If Buffalo was in the West, they would be, a lot closer to being on the bubble than they are out east. Buffalo has 24 points this season. That would be 3 points outside of a Western Conference playoff spot. As it is, they're 5 or 6 out in the East. They are 10-11-4 against a Winnipeg team that is, let's see here. Let's just keep scrolling down. 13-11-0. Winnipeg is 4-6-0 in their last 10, and losing Connor Hellebuck hasn't helped, but there's a big hole down the middle for the Jets as well.
Yeah, they're really struggling overall. Like sometimes it's just a dry spell, right? You get a goalie can't make a save, you can't get a goal, but their results, even their underlying numbers, look pretty bad. Like fundamentally, they're not playing well.
They do. You mean to tell me that bringing Jonathan Taves out of retirement to be your number 2 center didn't solve the Winnipeg Jets problems? That was not a good idea. Just not a good idea.
No, that was never gonna work. I mean, more power to the player for doing it, but yeah, what is he, 37 now?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you look at the Jets' top 10 scorers on the season, And, Logan Stanley is in that group, which is crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah. But anyway, of the top 10 Winnipeg Jets scorers this season, okay, only two of them are minuses, okay? One is Gabe Velarde, who's a -1, and then Jonathan Taves is a -12. So,
wow, how is that possible?
That's a big part of it for the Winnipeg Jets. They need an extra center in the worst way. So we'll see how that plays out, but screw it. I'm betting on Buffalo tomorrow. Absolutely. I think Buffalo's a better team than the Jets right now. So we'll just have to see how that shakes out. Yeah. Hey, and the thing is, it's never ordinary. I don't know if you know this. It's never ordinary at Bet365. So download the app, get in on the game, use that code NATION, because Bet365, Afterburner would not be possible without the contributions of Bet365 and people like you. So there you go. Hey, I think, Kent, we said we're going to do a type 30. It's been about 41 minutes, and I think that's a very healthy runtime for this show. One more topic?
Before we go, let's do a bet. Let's say the Flames get first overall.
Okay.
Who do you think they'll pick?
I think they'll pick
McKenna. You think so? He has not crushed it this year, right?
I think they'll pick him.
I think he'll have a big second half of the season, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it'll be McKenna, and I think it'll be McKenna for a couple of reasons. One, I still think he's the best prospect in this year's draft. I think his WHL numbers last year are undeniable. But two, I think from a perception standpoint, if the Flames finally get a first overall pick after 45 years in the NHL, as in Calgary, and 53 years as a franchise, and they don't take the guy who everybody thought was going to be number 1 overall going into the season, and it doesn't work, then I don't think they will be the ones to make that gamble. But maybe, I don't know. That's just my take on it. But I am with McKenna. I still think there is an element of, this is to me, it's just kind of weird. He's been the top player in his age group growing up basically forever. He comes from the Yukon, where there's not a whole lot of hockey players to begin with. Obviously it's still Canada, but there's not a lot of people, right? He's always been a winger. Like, usually if you are the top player at your age group, like the very top player, the absolute best player, you're a center, usually,
or a defenseman,
So that to me just makes me say, okay, why? But by the same token, there have been other wingers who have been picked first overall who have gone on to be, generational, electrifying, amazing talents. Like if he's as half, or if he's like 90% as talented of an offensive player as a guy like Patrick Kane was during his peak, then you're thrilled. So I'm really curious, and there's a lot of hockey left to play. But I think McKenna will be just fine. I think part of it is the fact that he chose to play at Penn State, and it's a weird program. Again, it goes back to, why did you go there? And you had the choice. You're not Ethan Wyttenbach, a 5th round pick who was recruited by Quinnipiac, or Cullen Potter, of sort of a fringe 1st, 2nd round pick who goes to Arizona State, and he went there a year early. This is a guy who was courted by pretty much every program that I know of. Like in every league,
every program.
There were BCHL teams trying to get Gavin McKenna and Landon DuPont and stuff like that. And he went to Penn State because and a lot of it was that he got offered a ton of money, NIL money. But it's just that part of it to me is if he had gone to BU like Celebrini did, or if he had gone to North Dakota, or if he had gone to Michigan or Minnesota or Denver, what would his numbers look like? That's my take.
Yep. And like I said, I think he's going to explode in the second half at some point. We saw Zane Parekh kind of had this season last year. If you remember, he was kind of just okay. It's part of the reason I think he got looked past for the World Juniors, and then after that, he was undeniable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that Penn State can figure out a way to make the offense run through him a bit more. Because it's just a weird lineup that they've got, but we shall see. Hey, for now, it's still a fantasy world, isn't it, Kent? So,
that's right.
So it's all
none of this happened.
First overall picks, those don't exist. For as far as I'm concerned, the draft starts at number 6. So, hey,
16.
Yeah,
most of the time. Yeah.
So there we go. The Calgary Flames lose to the Carolina Hurricanes in overtime by a 1-0 score at Lenovo Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. My name is Mike Gould for our buddy Kent Wilson and our producer Yasmin. Thanks to the folks at Bet365 at the Youth Centers of Calgary, at the Derek Newman Group, Platinum Mitsubishi, and the Unicorn, as well as the Calgary Health Foundation and the folks up at Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. A lot of fun stuff that we chatted about on the show today. Until next time, the Flames lose in Carolina, a long, boring game, and we hope we never have to watch this one or talk about it again. Until then, Nashville, you've been watching this edition of Afterburner.